A very quick video. At the moment, we've got two solar storms actually approaching the Earth, and of course, one of the things that I have been quite curious about, which I'm surprised that no one's talked about, is that when 3.1 Atlas came through around the Sun at the same time that other orbit, other space traffic was screaming around, meteors, meteorite showers, they all come with bow shocks, and the worry that worries me is that when the bow shocks overlap each other's bow shocks, they have an exponential factor. In other words, the force of, say, mass object A equals blah, but when you then it gives it that mass object A crisscrosses the path of mass object B, it actually enhances the power of the bow shock and exponentially according to each of the other objects that come into contact. So imagine just like two oceans colliding together, if you will. Because in this case, the bow shock of the Atlas is being actually the Sun, I've been wondering whether or not that would have any impact on solar activity for the Earth itself. In other words, because the bow shock's in the Sun, it's causing the Sun to be more active, and then that in turn has a spin-off that whether or not how active the Sun will be in terms of solar traffic. That is a question I don't know the answer to. I'm not an astrophysicist. I am aware that I think it's like 98 points of the mass of the Sun, or in fact the galaxy comes from the Sun. So you could argue that that's an also it's kind of like an ant fighting an elephant. But it does cause us a question about would that make the Sun more active? That this is all happening at the moment at the time when the Sun is going to solar activity, and that there has been a lot of money spent by New Zealand government on protecting our trans-powered lines or studying the impact of this is one thing. But what also worries me, because that's all that stuff comes out of Otago University, I want to say Craig Marsden, Craig Rogers. His father was a minister for Labour Science, and he's had a lot of study done from, or he's been funded to do a lot of study. But also one thing he picked up is that the US sort of defence shield, like against basically the electromagnetic impact of nuclear weapons, and the flip side of the shield is that it actually creates an arc bridge, which basically means that while the while electrical objects in the United States affected by nuclear power blasts don't actually blank out and get wiped out because of the EMP blast of the Russian nuclear weapons, what would happen instead would be that would be the bridge would be actually transfer over and can actually impact upon us and actually result in us having mass communication blackouts for days, weeks at a time. Again, I'm simply repeating what an academic from Otago University has raised as a possibility about the American defence shield, and considering the ability, let me rephrase it in terms of the ability to make opportunity out of crisis. This is one of the things I am just sort of kind of curious about. Not to say I'm not making conspiracy theories, these are just the things that go through my head at 2 o'clock in the morning. I only kind of really made this video today because there is this increasing activity going on. There is some high-level alerts come out which I haven't seen beforehand, and it has coincided at the time with a lot of high-level military activity happening in New Zealand at this current moment. Usual situation, you don't control who's in control, but the question is your first aid box full up? Do you have cash to put aside? Is the car got a petrol tank? All these things that you can do and do just make things that some form of civil defence or natural emergency occurs, you're just a little bit better prepared to deal with a crisis. And again, don't even forget about the Illuminati. These are basic first aid that anybody should have in their family. Extra strategies, know when you're actually going to meet, all these sort of things. So yeah, be safe, but don't be paranoid. But